talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.
Welcome back to another episode of Caged In. I'm your host, Chris DiCarlo. Today we got a very special guest making her debut on the show. It's Alyssa Tortora. How are we doing today, Alyssa?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I know you're making your amateur MMA debut this Saturday night at Cage Titans. I'm glad to have you on the show, to get you to know you a little bit better before the fight's on Saturday. Are you looking forward to making your debut? Like, what's going through your mind right now as you're getting ready? You're a few days out. How you feeling?
I feel really good. I'm very excited. I've been training for a while, and yeah, I'm ready for Saturday. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. And before we dive into that fight a little bit deeper, let's start at the top and get to know you a little bit better. So, where were you born and raised, and what was growing up kind of like for you? Did you play sports, any traditional sports before you got started in MMA? What's the story there?
Yeah, I grew up in Massachusetts, lived in Massachusetts my whole life. I was a huge soccer girl growing up. I started at age like 3, 4 and played up until recently in some like rec leagues. But I did a year of wrestling in high school.
Nice.
And there was one other girl on my wrestling team, and that's Erin Johnson. She fought at Cage Titans before too.
Mhm.
I saw her MMA debut just like on Instagram and stuff, and I was like, oh my God, that looks so fun. I want to do that. So she helped me get signed up at Lauzon's, and I've been there for a little over 4 years now, I think, and obviously love it. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into all the MMA stuff.
Nice. And then, while you were training at Lauzon's throughout the 4 years, were you always just kind of like counting down the days until you decided that you wanted to make your MMA debut? Or is that kind of on the back burner? It didn't really come up. You were kind of more just focused on like learning the skills and kind of doing it as a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, in the back of my mind, I always knew I wanted to fight, but like I definitely focused more on jujitsu first, since I like wrestled and liked grappling more. The past like 2 years started focusing more on my stand-up and stuff, but it was always like on the back burner. But more recently, I was like really itching to get in the cage, so I'm glad it's finally happening.
For sure. I've seen you always a part of that Lauzon MMA squad, like on social media, and you've always seemed like someone that people have always kind of been talking about as someone that's very talented coming out of that gym, and it was just kind of a matter of time until you decided to step into the cage. So I'm glad that, you're making your debut this Saturday night, and I'm glad that we get to talk to you a little bit about that. So you mentioned obviously that you were part of Lauzon MMA. How is it over there for you? What's it like training under a legend like Joe Lauzon?
It's a lot of fun there. I obviously love the gym. It's a great group of people there, no matter like what type of class it is. Yeah, I have no bad things to say. I love it there.
Nice. And who are some of your main training partners at Lauzon? Are there certain guys or girls that you're training with most days that are kind of helping you get ready for this fight on Saturday night?
Yeah, I definitely, well, John Payne is also fighting Saturday. He has helped me get ready, so it's been fun working with him. He's awesome.
Mhm.
And then there's a few people from like I do 10 a.m. class with Joe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So a few people I definitely like go to for drilling. That's always helpful because there's not a lot of girls there. There's not a lot of small people, so it's definitely difficult finding training partners. But I also train at US MMA sometimes with Hillary and Ashley
Mhm.
Barrett. So they're both awesome. They've been a huge help throughout my camp as well. So yeah, it's been nice finding more people that I can go to help get ready during camp.
For sure. I was going to ask you about cross training as well. Obviously, Lauzon's, you mentioned US MMA. Is it just those two primarily, or do you kind of go elsewhere for other skills as well?
Right now, just those 2 gyms, and like I said, US MMA has been super helpful. They have a lot of girls there, which is, like, awesome because it's obviously very different than training with guys, so it definitely gives me, like, a more realistic look for my fight.
Definitely. And I saw, looking through your social media that you did go out to California and had trained with Mackenzie Dern. How
Yes.
did that opportunity come about? And then what did you learn most from that?
So that was crazy. So it was so random, and I swear I, like, didn't believe it till I was, like, actually there. So Mackenzie posted a UFC it was like a giveaway with the UFC and OnePlus, which is like a headphone company.
Mhm.
And I entered it like not really thinking anything of it. I ended up winning like these like noise canceling like headphones, which is cool. And I was like happy with that. And then maybe like 2, 3 weeks after I got the headphones, they sent me another email and said I won the trip. And I like didn't think it was legit at first, but, like,
Right.
obviously it was, and it was awesome. I was, got to go out to California. I trained, at 10th Planet in Costa Mesa, which was awesome, and then I got to hang out with Mackenzie Dern, for, like, 4 hours, which was super cool. We did some drilling. We did, like, a knee bar and, like, toe hold drill, which was really fun. I didn't get to, like, actually roll with her, which was a bummer, but it was still awesome getting to, like, talk to her and kinda, like, pick her brain about, like, what fighting's like for her, so it was an awesome experience, and it was, like everything was paid for too, so I was just, like,
Right.
along for the ride. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really complain too much about that. That's for sure. Seems like a great experience. Obviously, an experience that most people don't get. So I'm glad you took full advantage of that and learned as much as you could while you were out there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you typically travel a lot to train? I've seen that you've been a few other places to travel and train at. What's the coolest spot you've ever been to get some rounds in?
Um, I mean, I'd like to travel and train more. I did recently go to the Bahamas with my mom just for like a vacation, and I ended up
Mhm.
finding someone to hold pads for me out there. So that was definitely really cool. It was definitely different hitting pads outside when it was like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
That definitely changes things. So that's probably the coolest place.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. You can't go wrong with that. All right, let's get into the reason we're here. Cage Titan 65, where you're making your amateur MMA debut. You're taking on Samantha Ayala, who is 0-2 as an amateur. Um, I think I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'd like to know, after years of training, what makes right now the best time for you to make your MMA debut?
Like I said, I've always wanted to fight, but I think in the past few months, especially with stand up, have definitely started to click more and become more natural. So, I feel ready. My coaches feel like I'm ready, so everyone's ready to go. So I think that kind of makes it the right time.
For sure. Your opponent, Samantha Ayala, is 0-2. Have you watched her fights? And if so, what have you picked up most about her game?
Yes, I have watched her fights. I know she got armbarred her last fight in the first round, and then the one before that went all three, and then lost by decision. So, I know she's tough. I know she can go all 3 rounds. But I'm just really confident with myself and with my training, so I'm just focusing on what I'm doing, and yeah, I feel good about it. I think it'll be fun.
There you go. And stylistically, when you break the fight down skill for skill, where do you see yourself having the biggest advantages versus her?
Um, I definitely think my grappling is really good, but, like I said, my stand-up is getting, like, really good too, so I am a lot more confident there as well, so I think, no matter where the fight goes, I'll be confident and ready, but, I really enjoy my jujitsu for sure.
There you go. And your opponent does have multiple losses via submission, in her MMA career and then in her grappling career as well. She's been submitted. So, with you being as comfortable as you are with your ground game and your jujitsu, is that the aspect that you expect to be your easiest path to victory for you on Saturday?
Um, yes, but also anything can happen on the feet, and I'm, like, ready for it. I've definitely fallen in love with striking the past few months as things have started to click, so, a submission would be nice, but, like, I'll take anything.
For sure. And the fans inside Plymouth Memorial Hall, they're going to see you on the fight card and see that you are 0-0. So they're going to have no expectations for what you bring to the cage on Saturday. From your perspective, what do you think that they can expect from you inside Plymouth Memorial Hall on Saturday night?
Um, I think a lot of people do know that I'm a grappler. I think a lot of people that go to Cage Titans kinda, like, are somewhat in, like, the, circle with things, so, but also training under Joe, um, I'm sure they'll expect, jujitsu because of that too.
For sure. And outside of MMA, what are some of your biggest interests? I've seen that you're super into photography. Is that something that you've always been really into? And what kind of makes you fall in love with something like that?
I started taking pictures more, like, during COVID, and then, got a new camera, and then I started taking pictures for the gym, which I really enjoy. And it's really cool that I get to like make money too from doing something that I love.
Mhm.
So that's been really fun.
Which side of photography do you think you've fallen in love with the most? Is it like like photographing like combat sports stuff or sports stuff in general? Do you like to do more like lifestyle stuff? What side of photography do you think is your avenue?
I started with portraits and then ended up doing like jujitsu and more combat sports stuff. And I definitely enjoy the combat sports stuff more. I can kind of just sit to the side and do my own thing and just take pictures. Especially at the gym too, like taking pictures of the kids' classes, especially like the little ones. It's so funny. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
There's a lot of like really talented photographers that come in and photograph at the Cage Titans events too. Since I've been kind of covering the regional scene for a couple of years now, I've kind of met a lot of those people, and they're super talented. And I've never really had the appreciation for the art of photography up until like the last couple of years. Have you ever, gone into Cage Titans and photographed an event at all, or is that something that you'd be interested in doing?
No, I've never done anything like that. I mean, I'd be open to it, but yeah, more focused on the fighting part instead of taking pictures.
For sure. Of course. And I saw you're also a streamer on Twitch. Have you always been a gamer, and what kind of launched the Twitch channel, and how did that interest kind of spark for you?
Yeah, so I started making like Call of Duty YouTube videos back when I was like 15. And then eventually I like got my PC, started streaming probably when I was like 17, 18. Um, and I used to be like obsessive with it, streaming like every day. So I did make like a decent amount of money off of it. I like made enough money to go to like a Call of Duty event out in like Anaheim, California, which was a lot of
Nice.
fun. I met like all my Twitter friends out there and all my Call of Duty friends. So it was a lot of fun. Um, Now I stream like maybe once a month. I'm like, sorry guys, I've been busy,
Right.
but I swear I still care about you guys. So I'll still game here and there and stream here and there. But that's kind of how all that started.
Yeah, that's awesome. There you go. All right, Alyssa, I thank you for taking the time. It was great to, get to know you, and I'm super excited to see your amateur MMA debut on Saturday. Where can the people that are listening come find you and, kind of follow along to your MMA journey?
I post a lot on Instagram, Alyssa_Tortora. Yeah, mainly just that.
Awesome. Alyssa, thank you so much for the time once again. Best of luck Saturday, and I'll see you inside the building.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, that's it. Thanks, Alyssa. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Down for the count and he can't even talk now. This MMA, what we talking about? Yeah, you tuned into the pod now. Gonna be hard for you to stop now. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in. Yeah, we caged in.